Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. As you know, here in England, we've just come out of our second national lockdown, which wasn't quite as strict or as long as the first one, but it was still quite tough. All the non-essential businesses had to close again, and there were very strict restrictions on who you could meet up with. But it wasn't quite as quiet either. You know, I went out for walks in my local area every weekend as usual, and there were plenty of people on the streets and cars on the road and everything. So people were getting out and about more, but they were being careful. And the case numbers have come down enough that we can now go back into our three-tier system. We still have some very tough restrictions depending on the area that you live in, because it's all been toughened up a bit, all the rules. But yeah, for Mum and I, things haven't really changed anyway, to be honest. You know, for several months now, we've just been in the same routine, you know, just going out for walks, not going anywhere special, not going to the shops, just ordering things online. And yeah, it's just been a steady routine. So even when the rules change, nothing's changed for us. And of course, we now have the fantastic news about the vaccines. The Pfizer vaccine has just been approved here in the UK. We're the first country to do so. And then there are other vaccines like the Moderna one and AstraZeneca and others on the horizon as well. So hopefully we'll have a good selection of them if more of them pass the approval stages. And I know some people are a bit worried about the fact that these are coming out so quickly, and it is absolutely unprecedented. And I know that word's been overused this year, how quickly these vaccines have been developed. It's phenomenal work by all the scientists and researchers involved. So thank you to them and everyone who took part in the clinical trials as well. They all played a huge part in this too. But the fact is, these vaccines have gone through all the regulatory and safety checks and everything. No steps have been skipped along the way. The reason these have been able to come out so quickly is because for the first time, scientists and researchers and everything have had all the resources, all the funding they need from the very outset to do everything they need to do. So they've even been able to run stages in parallel, which they've not been able to do before. And the only reason that's happened is because every country in the world has just thrown everything at it. You know, this is a critical situation where a virus has shut down the entire planet, basically decimating economies, decimating people's lives. And we need to get out of this mess. And so lots of other priorities have been dropped completely. And countries have just said, right, here's the money, here's the resources, here's the manufacturing. Get us out of this now. And the scientists have come good, as we highly expected they would. So yeah, it's not entirely surprising that the vaccines have been developed this quickly. I think it's more of a relief to the scientific community, really. They knew it was probably possible, but they're glad they've actually been able to do it. So yeah, congratulations to everybody involved with that. And I know there will also be lots of conspiracy theories and things like that online about these different vaccines, you know, saying it changes your DNA, you're getting a chip implanted in you, all this nonsense. It's all rubbish, and there are lots of links debunking all these myths. I'll put a few in the description and in my blog post just so you can have a read if you are concerned about anything. But just be very careful about what you share and read online, because sharing the wrong information can be really harmful and cause people to make the wrong decisions. So in a situation like this, we do need to kind of stick together and just make sure that the right information is out there. You know, listen to the experts, not random people on social media or YouTube. Don't even listen to me necessarily. Just make sure you listen to people like Jonathan Van Tam, for instance. He's very, very good, and you know, people like that. But from everything I've read, I personally trust the vaccine. I personally trust that it's been through all the necessary processes for safety and everything. So my mother's happy to have it. I'm happy to have it if I'm offered it. It's unlikely unless I can get it as someone who lives with and cares for an elderly person, and I'll certainly ask the question. But the priority is for the elderly and vulnerable and healthcare workers, things like that, to get it. So as long as my mum gets it, that's the important thing. It's going to take a while to roll this out. It's going to take a while for the pandemic to ease off as a result. So we've just got to be very patient and just, you know, let the NHS and other people do the work they need to do to get these vaccines out there into the population now. And good luck to everyone involved with that, and huge thanks as well. And then in other good news across the pond, I also want to say congratulations to my American friends as well on getting the right result in the election. You know, I very rarely mention politics, but again, this is such big news and such an important event in sort of world history that it deserves a mention, really. So congratulations to Biden and Harris. I enjoyed their speeches very much at their victory event as well, and I just hope the country's able to move forward now in a much more positive way. So I wish you all the very best of luck with that too. So yeah, I had to mention those bits of good news. Of course, you couldn't really talk about the last few weeks without bringing those up. It does feel like 2020 is trying to desperately redeem itself now, and that 2021 is looking much more hopeful, which is good. But yeah, apart from all that, there isn't really a huge amount to mention for November, really. You know, we're in that kind of lull where there's not much new on TV either, because they're holding things back for Christmas. And there's quite a few little bits and pieces coming out of the festive period that I'm looking forward to. So There isn't a lot to mention on the TV front, but there's a few things I want to bring up, and there's a few little bits of music as well I want to mention. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, these little bits and pieces I have to offer. None of it's sponsored or gifted as usual, and as always there's more detail in the blog post that goes with this video. So let's just crack on with it, and I hope you enjoy it. So my DVD purchase this month was Paul Merton the Series, and this is a sketch show that he made for Channel 4 in the early 90s, and it's basically a collection of funny and surreal sketches, and there's some very good moments in there, interspersed with moments at a newspaper kiosk where he's having amusing interactions with customers and delivering funny monologues to camera as well, based on his old stand-up material that he used to do. And it's a very good series, as I say. There's a lot of good stuff in there. But the DVD is kind of disappointing because it's not actually complete. In putting the DVD together, Paul has decided to edit out a lot of material that he doesn't think is good enough anymore. So there are 5 sketches that have been lost entirely, and some others have been trimmed or moved around a bit. Series 1 in particular has been quite badly messed around with. A couple of the episodes are 4 minutes shorter than they would otherwise have been. A couple of other episodes are 2 minutes shorter. One episode had a little trim as well. There's only one episode in the first series that hasn't had anything touched at all. Series 2 has fared much better. There's only one episode in that series that has had anything cut from it. So that's a bit of a shame, really, because it means that there's some good material that's been lost, and there are some callback references that don't make sense now because the original sketches have gone. There are people named in the credits who no longer exist in the episodes. It's still enjoyable in its current form, but it's also frustrating knowing that not everything is there, especially given the fact that it's not indicated on the outer sleeve either that there's bits missing. It's only when you open it up and you look at the writing on the inner sleeve from Paul, or you listen to his audio commentary, that you know that things have been chopped out. And the thing about Paul's commentary is that if he'd left the episode intact, he could have used that as the ideal point to explain why he didn't like certain things. It is interesting to hear people going back and looking at their earlier work and actually criticising it and realising perhaps what they would have changed and things like that. And on the whole, the commentary isn't bad. It's a bit dull in parts really, but he's good at talking all the time, so there's no gaps, and there are some nice insights into the making of the show and talking about his early days in comedy as well, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's frustrating that the full episodes aren't there, especially because they are available online. They were previously available on iTunes. They're still currently available for free on all 4, and you can buy them on Amazon as well. So you can see the full episodes online, which is how people know how much is missing. I will keep it though. As I say, it's got a commentary on there which is unique to the DVD, and it's nice to have the episodes in some form. And there is another extra feature on there, which is his short film Suicidal Dog, which is nothing amazing, but it's worth a look. But if you've already got the compilation DVD he released some years back called the Paul Merton Collection, then you've already got the Suicidal Dog on there, plus an alternate silent version of it as well. So you're not even getting both versions of that film on this new release. So yeah, it's not as good as people were hoping for really. I will hold on to it for the time being though, and just hope that we get a full edition in some years to come. We'll have to see what happens. Apart from that, I've been watching the same things on TV as usual, like The Last Leg and Have I Got News For You and other things I mentioned last time, including Taskmaster as well, which is still great, and they've announced a special New Year edition featuring Krishnan Guru Murthy, John Hannah and a few other celebrities as well, just for that one episode, which is going to be interesting to see. But apart from that, I thought I'd also mention Richard Osman's House of Games this month. I do watch this quite regularly, but I don't mention it every time because they make so many episodes of it that it would get boring to just bring it up over and over and over again. But it is a good fun quiz show. It's nice and easy to get into, and there's even a primetime edition on BBC One once a week now, as well as the early evening editions every weekday. So that's good. He's branched out very well with that show. But it's worth a mention on this particular occasion because comedian Angela Barnes was on there, and she was the first person to win an entire week's worth of shows. She wasn't at all well matched with the other contestants. She was far better than them, far quicker on the buzzer and everything, but it was great to watch her do it. She's very clever in her comedy, so I'm not surprised that's reflected in her performance on the show. And talking of Richard Osman, who has nystagmus like me, if you didn't already know that, the big man hit the big 50 very recently on his birthday, so congratulations to Mr. Osman on his 50th birthday, and also congratulations on the book as well. I know his new book is doing very well in the shops too. And then there have been a couple of showcases of disabled comedians on the BBC recently, which is fantastic. It's nice to see them being represented. So Live at the Apollo had a special edition called Access All Areas, which was a compilation of some of the best bits of disabled comedians that have appeared on their stage, like Rosie Jones and Chris McCausland, who's blind, and Lost Voice Guy, and Adam Hills, of course, people like that. So that was pretty good. And then over on Radio 4, they had the 13 Million Club, which was hosted by Lost Voice Guy and featured people like Jamie McDonald, who is blind, Tanya Lee Davis, who has dwarfism, and she was also on Live at the Apollo as it happens, and Tourette's hero, and Don Biswas, who has dyspraxia. So that was a good selection of people as well. And then there was the Children in Need Telethon as well, of course, which was a very much scaled back affair this year for obvious reasons. And as usual, I was able to record it and just fast forward through a lot of the stuff I wasn't interested in. But there are a few little good bits and pieces in there that I did watch. I particularly enjoyed the sketch by the team from the Goes Wrong show, which was a COVID-secure version of A Romantic Dinner. That was very well put together. Beverly Knight performed a Pink Floyd song, Wish You Were Here. That was very good. And the cast of Six also gave a great performance as well from their musical. So I enjoyed seeing those little bits and pieces. And despite all the difficulties this year, they were still able to raise an impressive £37 million on the night, which is great. That total will go up during the year as usual. And then finally on the comedy front, Tim Vine finally completed his year-long project of posting little clips every single week on his YouTube channel, Tim Vine Televisual, just little silly collections of sketches every Monday. So they've been good to watch. And he's still posting videos there now. He's still posting little bits and pieces here and there, and he's posting little bits on his Twitter feed as well. And then finally moving on to music, and I can go through these bits and pieces fairly quickly as there isn't much to say about any of them. AC/DC released their new album called Power Up this month, which is pretty good. It's nothing groundbreaking or spectacular, but it is pure AC/DC. You know what you're getting with them. And AC/DC are still as good as we always know them to be. The riffs are still catchy and they've still got that great sound and everything. So yeah, it's been fun to listen to that, and their single Shot in the Dark from that is good. Charlie Christensen has released a single called You Will Be Found with a group of West End stars. Charlie is the 10-year-old who posted online about being bullied and the whole world wrapped their arms around him with the Cheer Up Charlie campaign going viral. So it's great that he's released this single, supporting National Anti-Bullying Week and raising money for the Diana Award. And then 150 performers and musicians from the casts of Chicago all around the world have got together to perform a version of All That Jazz to support the Make a Difference Trust, and that video is introduced by David Hasselhoff, so that's good fun. The Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain are still bringing out interesting versions of different songs, and lately they've covered Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll by Ian Dury, so that's a very interesting interpretation of that. And then an orchestra from the Netherlands have marked their 75th birthday by recording a special version of The Show Must Go On by Queen, which is beautiful, so that's well worth a listen to. And then of course there are a few Christmas songs as well that have been catching my attention. So one is Fiddly Christmas by the Horn Section. Alex Horn and his band are great at doing catchy songs and funny songs, things like that. And this is a lovely song for Christmas. And it's raising money for the Nordhoff Robbins Music Therapy Charity, which is a great cause. Plus, they've also got a Christmas album coming out on the 4th of December. So by the time this video goes up, that may well already be up on their Bandcamp page. And then Matt Lucas has brought back his Baked Potato character for Christmas, which is hardly surprising after the success of Thank You Baked Potato earlier in the year. So now we have Merry Christmas Baked Potato, and this time he's raising money for FareShare, who are fighting hunger and supporting people who need food, especially at this time of year when things are going to be even more difficult. So that's another great charity. And then a group of West End singers have released a single called Christmas Again, The Show Must Go On, which is a lovely song in support of the theatre industry, who have obviously been hit extremely hard this year, and they're raising money for the Theatre Support Fund. And the video is fun as well. It's got actual theatre ushers dancing in it and things like that. So that's another great song for a lovely cause. And then finally, it's fantastic that Brian May and Kerry Ellis have got together again to produce a festive song called One Beautiful Christmas Day. I really enjoyed listening to that too. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have to mention. I told you there wouldn't be much, but I hope you enjoyed that. Going forward during December, there are various bits and pieces you might want to check out if you're following me on my other pages. So over on my social media feeds on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, I'm taking part in Accessible Advent. This has been created by Ginny Butcher, who is a disabled person who's also worth following. And basically every day throughout December, I'm going to be posting about something that would make my life more accessible if more people were to provide it. So, I've been talking about audio description and touch tools in theatres for the first couple of days. And I'll be posting about things from other parts of my life as well as I go along. So do follow me there. You might learn something new as you go along. As for my blog, I'm going to continue posting my old journal posts as usual. We're currently going through 2004 and I've just posted about my university graduation. So it was great for me to look back at my ceremony details and check out my video again, things like that. It's been good for me to kind of go back through these things. Some things I remember more than others. So yeah, it's been good kind of reminiscing over some of this stuff. And then I'm also continuing with my series celebrating the 50th anniversary of Queen. I've been going through their albums bit by bit and I'm now up to A Night at the Opera. So I'm taking a very deep dive into that album because it is the album that sent them stratospheric. It's absolutely huge. There's a lot of really big songs on there, really important songs. So it's a big 3-part series as a result. There's a lot to talk about and hopefully it will conclude on Christmas Day when I post the part featuring Bohemian Rhapsody, about which there is a particularly large amount to write, as you can imagine. So if you're a big Queen fan, or even if you just want to find out more about some of their songs in particular, then do keep an eye out for their post as well. And yeah, I hope that'll keep you busy over Christmas. And as for this channel, I don't have any plans to post any videos before the end of the year. It'll probably be my Christmas favourites when I do the next one. So let let me take this opportunity to wish you a happy and comfortable Christmas. I hope it's as safe as it can be for you. And if you haven't got anyone with you over the Christmas period, then I hope you're able to make the best of the occasion that you can. And if you do need some support, if you're lonely, then do go and seek it out. You are far from alone at this time of year in particular. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that as usual. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe as always. I hope you have a lovely Christmas in whatever way you're able to celebrate it, and a happy new year. And I will see you for another video in 2021. Bye for now.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we